Yo, what's up guys? You got PokeaimMD here with a video on the new Pokemon games coming out for the Nintendo Switch this November. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. In this video, I'll be giving my thoughts on the games as well as, what's actually in the game, so I'll be going back and forth between them. Of course, I would like to know your guys' thoughts. I know there's going to be a lot of mixed feelings in the comments. Some people are going to be really excited, some people are not, and that's completely fine. You don't have to like every single game coming out for Pokemon, and you're allowed to feel a specific way. It's your opinion for a reason. But I'll be talking about the game, giving my thoughts on it as well, and also the future of my channel. I'll probably be talking about that a little bit towards the end of it. But Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are set in the original Kanto region. I am, people like to say a Gen 1er, but I also did start, my quote-unquote Pokemon journey in Gen 1, so this obviously has that nostalgia feel to me, and that's a big reason why they're doing this, of course. They are definitely pandering towards the Pokemon Go community, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing, okay? I'll jump a little bit ahead, but in 2019, it's already been announced that we'll have our core Pokemon game. This will not be our standard Pokemon game, right? It's not necessarily, it's not a spin-off game, okay? I don't believe this is a spin-off game. In fact, I think there was some stuff that said it wasn't. I think it is like a Generation 7.5 type of thing. But don't quote me on that at all. This is just my personal thoughts. But it's not a spin-off game. But in 2019, we'll get our actual standard Pokemon game, similar to every game that we've had, X, Y, Sun and Moon, whatnot, where you're playing, battling, Eevee training, breeding, all that stuff. I'm assuming we'll have things like that. But this is not that game. This game definitely does pander to the Pokemon Go community, which again is not a bad thing, because I believe this game is the bridge that will bring those casual players, and I will refer to them as casual players because if you're not playing competitive, you are, casual, and there's nothing wrong with that. Pokemon's a casual game. We're the ones that make it competitive. But this is that bridge that will bring those casual players to the Switch, the Gen 1ers, the Pokemon Go players to the Switch, and then next year, my hope would be that, okay, they've already got this experience of Pokemon, they've already got this experience of turn-based battling, which will be in the game, and from there, they'll be going on to play, hopefully, the main series games, and for that, that'll bring a whole bunch of new people to play. It's already on, obviously, a new console, and I think that this is the right move for the Pokemon Company from a business aspect, or perspective rather. But like I said, it's only the original 151 Pokemon plus the Alolan Pokemon, and it will have version exclusive, so I'm wondering if it'll be kind of like Pokemon Red and Blue, or any Pokemon game that's had version exclusives thus far, which are the majority of them, if not them all. But for example, in Red you were able to get Ekans and Arbok, right? But in Blue you couldn't. But like in Blue you can get Sandslash, Sandshrew, and it always went back and forth like that. They're just Pokemon that will be version exclusive in each game. Like in Yellow, for example, you weren't able to get Weedle, Kakuna, Beedrill, or any of Ekans, Arbok, Raichu. And that actually brings up another point as well, that your starters, which are Eevee or Pikachu, are not able to evolve. I mean, that's pretty similar to how it was in Pokemon Yellow. That's why a lot of people are saying this is a Pokemon Yellow remake. I'm not 100% sure if that was confirmed just yet, because I keep reading a whole bunch of different things, so I don't want to say, yes, this is fact, listen to this, because I'm not 100% sure on that. But this game will have Pokemon Go integration. That's a whole thing I just mentioned earlier about bringing the Pokemon Go and, the casual player into Pokemon. And like I said, this is a great way of bringing them and having them experience, an actual or sort of actual Pokemon game. And obviously there's some elements that are removed, but having them experience that and have them come to competitive come 2019, which I think will be huge for Pokemon YouTubers and just Pokemon as a whole. But there is Pokemon Go integration where it comes to capturing. There's no wild Pokemon in this game, so or no wild Pokemon battles. So in a sense, like if you're walking through the grass, you're not going to have a Weedle, or if you're walking in the cave, you're not going to have a Zubat pop out in front of you at random. It's similar to Pokemon Go, where you'll see Pokemon Overworld sprites. You touch them, or you react with them and interact with them. That's the word I was looking for. And then you'll be able to battle. And it's similar again to Pokemon Go. You're going to use like the Joy-Con, you swish it, and you throw a Pokeball. Now, my thoughts on this, first off, obviously, I've actually been playing Pokemon Go ever since it came out. I've never stopped, right? I've played it a little bit on the side every single time. I didn't talk about it as much because Marlene was the one who really played with it more. Just because, well, I'm driving, she likes to, you know, try and catch some Pokemon, go around. The other day we actually got Zapdos, which was pretty cool. She did that all on her own. Sorry, I'm not trying to flex that my woman loves Pokemon, because I mean, that's just so cool to me, right? But that's not what this video is about. So it'd be similar to that. So I mean, obviously, like, you can compare that to the Safari Zone, man. But I'm not a huge fan of the way you catch Pokemon in Pokemon Go. I like it in a sense because it's really cool. You just chuck your Pokeballs, and then obviously you got like the knob berries and the raspberries and all that crap, and the pineapple berries and all that stuff. But like, I wish we had rocks. Like in the Safari Zone, the actual Safari Zone, because Pokemon Go reminds me of the Safari Zone. You can't actually battle the wild Pokemon, but you're trying to lure them with your fruit, and you're getting them. You're either making them, you know, less hyper, which I believe the Nanab berry does that. It's just the banana berry backwards, but or the raspberry makes them easier to catch. The pineapple berry gives you like more, what is it, points or what, I forgot what it's called, but it gives you more something at the end of it. And you know, we don't have a rock that we can throw and weaken the Pokemon, so I'm assuming obviously there'll be capture rates for these specific Pokemon. For the weaker or the more common Mon, they'll be lower, and then obviously if you go up to like Mewtwo and, you know, legendaries like Zapdos and whatnot, or even bigger, stronger Pokemon like Gyarados, the chance would be a little bit lower. Am I necessarily a fan of that? I've clearly stated not the biggest fan of that, but I mean, that's always so been my problem with Pokemon Go as well. I just want a rock that I can throw, like in the Safari Zone. I would love to weaken Pokemon. So that part, a lot of people are not big fans of, and I can understand. But I mean, there still will be Pokemon battles with the trainers in the game, and this is interesting because I know that they've also changed the way the level up is going to be, and it showed like CP in the trailer as well. So there'll obviously be this different. They'll obviously make some changes, and this is just for this game in particular. I don't think they want to make it too hard for the people playing, but there will be turn-based battles like the ones we know, where you select a move and you battle and whatnot. The graphics for this game, by the way, I actually like how they look. I don't mind the going back to chibi style art, because my Pokemon are now following me again, which I think is really cool. And you know, you're able to ride Pokemon. I'm not the biggest fan of, like, I'm not like, oh my god, yes, the Pokemon can follow me, this is so cool, man, this sells me on this game. No, but I do like the idea. I love, like, in Yellow when Pikachu would follow me around and I talk to it and I click on it, and then Pikachu would have like all the hearts around and like, damn, I'm a good trainer. So this mon loves me. But yeah, as far as that goes, you get experience from capturing Pokemon, and you'll get experience from battling trainers. So no wild Pokemon is in randomly popping up. You know, that's pretty sucky, but like, I feel like the same thing is in Go. Like, I was, especially when Go first came out, when I was walking around and I saw a random Charizard just pop out, and then I was able to touch it. I still had that same feeling of like, if I'm in the wild and I'll catch like some random mons. I don't know. I don't think that matters as much personally to me, but that's obviously my opinion, and people will have different ones. There is going to be a story mode though. This is not going to be Pokemon. Okay, it does have a lot of Pokemon Go integration, whereas you can trade Pokemon from Pokemon Go, which is, I think, pretty cool too. Like, you know, I'm just going to trade this random Charizard that I have to my Pokemon Go and take on Erica with that. I'm wondering how they're actually going to do that, because that kind of sounds pretty busted, right? I'm bringing this Charizard. I have Zapdos. I'm bringing Zapdos in my game to take on Misty. I'm assuming there'll be either some CP/level gaps, or maybe you can do it after a certain point or post game. I'm not 100% sure how that's going to happen, because it honestly seems pretty broken. But it is what it is. But there will be a story mode. You guys saw in the trailer, we saw the SSN. We still all Team Rocket, so this will definitely be, you know, your standard Pokemon RPG. Like, you're walking around, you have your Pokemon, you're battling. I'm assuming gyms are going to be there as well. And again, I saw the SSN. So one thing that people were really up in arms about was the fact that it was misinterpreted. Keep in mind, this was a misinterpretation, that there was no online play. So that means no online battles, no online, you know, multiplayer. This was a misinterpretation. Matsuda confirmed that yes, of course, we have trading in the game. It's one of the reasons we already have 2 versions. Version exclusive Pokemon will exist in Let's Go, like many Pokemon games before it. Battling and trading are both available online and locally, right? So I'll be able to do my Gen 1 battles versus people online, whether it be local if they're near me, or halfway across the world. But online ranked battles will not be available. Okay, so that means, from what I can interpret from that, we won't have a battle spot in the Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu, and Eevee. They don't have plans to utilize the online service right now for the Nintendo Switch Online. So, no battle spot, kind of I'm a little bit, but then again, it's like, as long as I can battle people, and I feel like this will definitely bring, some love for Gen 1 battle. First off, I'm not going to have to see a Toxapex on Wi-Fi for a while, and that makes me incredibly happy. I don't think people understand how annoying it is to play Ultra Sun and Moon OU on Wi-Fi battles. I can't bring Celesteela Toxapex. I'm not trying to fight Celesteela Toxapex and take 30 turns Leech Seed protecting. I mean, obviously for the VGC players, I'm interested to see what they're gonna do for Worlds next year and whatnot. I'm assuming it might be played again on Ultra Sun and Moon, or maybe they'll do, this stuff where you'll use the original 151 Pokemon plus a Alolan form. So that's really interesting to me. But no battle spot. I was honestly a little bit down when I saw that there was no online, but thankfully that was a misinterpretation. So I'm really excited to be doing Gen 1 battles. But as far as that goes for the competitive side, I'm a little bit iffy, because it's like, okay, we get remakes, all the time, right? We got Heart Gold, Soul Silver, we got Platinum, Emerald, whatever, Ultra Sun and Moon, or continuations, remakes, whatever you want to call them, ORAS. And what they do is they usually bring in something new to the metagame, whereas if it is, I'm talking as a competitive player right now, they usually bring something new to the metagame, whereas if it's different movesets, buff stats, new move tutors. So I'm a little bit interested, or a little bit worried in the sense to see like what this is going to do. Like, I have no problem holding out for another year to play a new Pokemon RPG that, ooh, sorry about that. Did not mean to hit you. I just apologize to my green screen. But, to play this new game where I'll have my new Pokemon, I'll have my new moves and things like that. But I'm a little bit interested, and a little bit worried as well. When I first heard it, I called Shofu, and he was streaming. I was like, yo, bro, what do you think about this? Like, are we, and obviously I think about this as well, because like I want to stay relevant, because I love what I do. But in order to do what I do, I have to make money from it. And that's also just going on my thoughts on this as a whole. And do you think we'll be able to survive another year, especially when we play competitive, right? Will we be able to do this while we have this new game that doesn't really bring much new to the table besides some pretty graphics and things like that? So Shofu was like, we'll be fine. And honestly, that reassured me, even though it was just like it wasn't, he gave me more than that, and it wasn't like a half-hearted reply like that. He actually did tell me a lot, but that was just my thoughts on that. But I do plan on having some new things for the channel, but let's keep going with this. So again, no breeding in this game. They want to simplify EVs, IVs, but Matsuda did mention, like in any other Pokemon game, it's accessible, but with depth for those who want it. So I'm assuming what he meant by this was they'll be not necessarily EVs and IV training, like is in that specific way, because I know that in Pokemon Go you can catch Pokemon with like specific IVs if they're like just like a regular Pokemon. You catch one and it has a chance to have better IVs than this one. So not necessarily no EV IVs, but they wanted to simplify. There's no breeding, right? They wanted to simplify EVs and IVs. So I'm assuming they have some sort of new system, and there will be ways to have competitive Pokemon, or Pokemon that are arguably better, or not even arguably, but are better than the rest, and we'll be able to, we'll know that as we play. But I'm really excited for the fact that you can ride your Pokemon, that you can, that their Pokemon are following you, and I love the animations. We saw them walking animation, motion animations for a while now, but they're really cool. Another cool thing, I think that's a really fun thing, it's the 2-player co-op that you're able to do with the second Joy-Con. You give it to somebody that can play with you, and I think it's different than how in Mario Odyssey, if you had the 2 Joy-Cons, Cappy, one person would control Cappy, the other one would control Mario, and it looked different than that because a full-on person fell from the sky and there was able to be 2 players. And I'm assuming with both Joy-Cons you can control where they go and whatnot, or either that or they just follow you. I'm not entirely sure how that works. Maybe they'll be like double battle type things. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure on how that is going to work, and as we know more, or maybe it's already revealed and I just didn't read it right, but as we know more, as I see more, I'll talk about it more. But I also like the idea of, you're both being able to throw Pokeballs if you're playing multiplayer, and making it even better at catching the Pokemon, because they showed in the trailer 2 people playing, they both threw Pokeballs at one Pokemon. That just sounds broken too. That's like imagine throwing 2 Master Balls. I mean, that's a waste, to be honest. But throwing 2 Pokeballs should automatically upgrade that thing to a great ball, honestly, or even an Ultra Ball, man. That's a Pokeball squared, man. So, not really. It's just 2 Pokeballs. But that I think that's pretty cool. So maybe that'll help you catch as well harder Pokemon, because the whole thing goes back to not being able to weaken Pokemon. I've never been a real big fan of that. I like the fact that weakening my Pokemon, but at the same time, I've always been a firm believer that, similar to the anime, you should be able to catch fainted Pokemon. So I've never been like with the norm when it comes to that, because I think you should be able to catch fainted Pokemon. If a Pokemon faints, it's still there. It doesn't drop to the ground like the actual game and goes and reincarnates somewhere else. No, it's fainted on the ground. That's what happens when you faint. Alright? That's what happens. I should be able to throw a Pokeball at this fainted Pokemon and it'd be mine. But, Pokemon doesn't work that way. But yeah, like I said, as far as the channel goes, I do plan on, honestly, because I've been playing Pokemon Go, and I did a few vlogs of Pokemon Go when it first came out. What was it, 2 years ago? Or was it? It wasn't last year. I think it was 2 years ago. Maybe it was last year. Wow, was Pokemon Go last year? No, it might have been. I think it was 2 years ago. Maybe I don't remember when Pokemon Go came out. Damn. But I did a few vlogs of Pokemon Go, and I had a lot of fun doing it. And I just didn't end up doing it because I didn't end up continuing because it was a little bit of work. I wanted somebody following me with a camera because I didn't want to hold a camera, and then I had to record that, and that always had to do with somebody being with me. But I'm about to be married, and I'm gonna have my wife, and I was like, hey babe, can you follow me around with a camera? And she said she would, because she still loves playing Pokemon Go all the time. So maybe we'll do something like that. I do plan on bringing Pokemon Go to the channel. I do plan on playing through this game on my channel, as well as on Twitch, because I think it'd be a lot of fun. And as far as competitive goes, I do hope that while they got rid of the need for breeding, I do hope that some Pokemon, and I don't know how stats are going to be, and it's going to be different. There's CP in the game. I do hope that some Pokemon are buffed. Whether it be, like, for example, I talked about Electrode yesterday. Electrode is the OG Exploder. When I think about Electrode and I think about Gen 1, all I think about it is using Explosion and going Electrode, and blows up, right? That's all I think about when I think about that and Voltorb. Why does it have 50 base attack, right? Give it more attack. Give it Mind Blown. Give it Galvanize. Give it something. So we'll see. Hopefully we do get some buffs, maybe some different movesets. I remember being able to use Rapid Spin on Golem. I think that was an event move or something. I would like that on Golem again, and I would like to be able to give that to breed that with a Alolan Golem, so I can have an electric type Rapid Spin, which I think is pretty cool in future games and whatnot. But as far as the game goes, I am pretty excited as a Pokemon fan myself. Obviously, I would like a new game in general with a new gen, but I think this is the smartest and best way to just transition the casual Pokemon Go player into the potentially a competitive player, someone who wants to play the main series games. I actually saw a quote at some point that somebody thought Darkrai was a fake. Someone from Pokemon Go thought Darkrai was a fake Pokemon when Darkrai has been out for like what, 10 years almost? About 10 years, right? Around that time. So, I mean, that just goes to show you that they just haven't played the game, right? So I think this is a good way. I'll give you another example. My little sister, her first Pokemon game was Fire Red, and then she played Ruby, and she enjoyed it. I tried to get her to play Gen 2, Pokemon Crystal, Pokemon Gold, whatever, and then Gen 1, and she said, Joel, I couldn't enjoy this game as much, or I couldn't really see myself playing it just because I wasn't a big fan of the graphics, and I completely understood that, right? She didn't grow up playing this game. She didn't go from when like Golbat was disgusting, scary, creature that will look like something out of Courage the Cowardly Dog that would give you these nightmares, right? Or when Venusaur was just a whole bunch of crappy plants, or when the back sprite of Charmeleon looked like Dragonite. She didn't grow up playing those games, right? But then you go to Pokemon Go, updated graphics, original Pokemon. She'll get to experience the, or anyone will get to experience the Gen 1 games, and hopefully bring them more into Pokemon, you know? That's just what it is. That's just how I feel about it. So I think it's a great move for the casual to come to competitive, and in that, it will be great for the community because we'll get a whole bunch of new people. Obviously, that'll be great for me as well as a Pokemon uploader, but also for, I think, people as a whole. And yeah, I'm really excited about this game. I definitely plan on, like I said, throwing it, and I'll probably have to change up a lot of stuff. I do want to bring Pokemon Go back to the channel, and don't ever think that because I'll be doing something, I have my thing in the Pokemon community. I'm a competitive player. That's what I'm known for in the Pokemon community. But I've always done things on the side as well. So there will always be, Showdown Lives, Wi-Fi battles for sure are coming back. For sure. They are definitely coming back, and with this Pokemon Go, let's go. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. So let me know your thoughts. I definitely plan on bringing, like I said, a whole bunch of things and Pokemon Go back to the channel. I still want to do Battle Spot and whatnot. A little bit sucky that there is no Battle Spot in this, but you know what? If it means that they're going to work even harder on the 2019 game, cool. I'm hyped. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys. Goodbye, my friends. Have a great day.